Thanks so much for stopping by. So today I will be talking about a plant food or fertilizer, and it is by Liquid Plant Food, and this is what it looks like, and it's for bonsai. So I purchased some desert rose last summer. I didn't realize they were bonsai. I just saw them, and I remember how my grandma grew them before. My grandma or my uncle grew them before, and I always thought they were very beautiful, and I just got a little nostalgic. So I got them, and they weren't doing so well. I was using Miracle-Gro, and they were dying. They were literally dying because Miracle-Gro is unforgiving, and I also didn't know that bonsai plants require a certain plant food or fertilizer or some kind of formulation. So I stopped using that and I switched to this because of that, because I really thought my plant was dying. And when I switched to this, it started to perk up, and I've finished the whole thing. So basically, the weird thing about this is with Liquid Plant Food, I think that's the name of the brand, and it's also called Plants for Pets. What I noticed is their fertilizer is basically all the same, but they sell it in different things. Like one of them will say this is for peace lily, one will say for dracania, one will say for fiddly fig tree, things like that. But they're basically the same. They're all the same NPK. They're all 312. So I didn't realize that because I actually also got this in the Dracania fertilizer. I didn't realize that until I actually got it, and I felt a little cheated, to be honest. So basically, if you want to get their product, if you have a bonsai versus an all-purpose fertilizer that they have, which is also a 312, or if you want to get their other fertilizer that would be cheaper, or whatever the cheapest is, that this is not a bonsai, they're all going to be the same. So for this one, it's 1 teaspoon for 2 cups of water. So if you want to water your bonsai, that's what you need to do, is 1 teaspoon to 2 cups. When you're watering and using this fertilizer for the rest of your plants that they are okay with, then it would be 1 to 1. So 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of fertilizer. 1 cup of water. 1 teaspoon of fertilizer, 1 teaspoon of fertilizer to 1 cup of fertilizer. I'm sorry, I switched it again. I'm dyslexic, I'm sorry. So it's 1 teaspoon fertilizer and 1 cup of water. And that's how you mix it. It's just a little pricey for what it can do, and it was just targeting really the bonsai. So when I figured that out, because I bought more than one different kind, so this is actually good for any other fertilizer that this company sells that will be okay with a 312 NPK. So it'd be a bonsai, dracania, peace lily, fiddly fig, pretty much anything unless there's succulent or cacti fertilizer NPK is different, then you can't use it for that. And of course for the orchids too, because orchids do require different things. But basically every single other house plant aside from those 2 categories, like orchids and cacti or succulent, will be fine with the 312. So what is the difference between this and like the all-purpose Miracle-Gro? The all-purpose Miracle-Gro is like, I know it's not a 312, it's like a 24, 8, and a 16, I think. And that's basically like a higher dose of 312. If you've noticed, you just multiply it by 8, and that's what you get with the Miracle-Gro version. So it's just a different concentration. So with this, what I would suggest, you can get whatever the cheapest would be. And it does say on the description that it can last you about 6 months to a year. That is if you're only feeding 1 plant. This goes by really quickly. I have more than 1 plant, and The good thing about it is if you do have more than one plant and you want to use this kind of fertilizer or this particular fertilizer, what you can actually use this with every single other plant except for orchids due to the NPK ratio, and also succulents. Like you can try it with the succulents. With the orchids, I really won't recommend that, but I also really won't recommend that with air plants. And so air plants, orchids, which is kind of an air plant, as well as a succulent, I really wouldn't recommend this fertilizer with it. Everything else though is fair game. Like everything you see here can be used with this one. Not with the jade. And over here, my plants over here, I got some ficus. I've got like a philodendron and a schefflera. They can all be used with this one. The only thing you need to do is double the dose. So instead of 1 teaspoon of plant food to 2 cups, you just do 1 cup. So it can actually go pretty quickly. I know that I was asked, like, don't you get worried if it goes bad? Because I do worry about that just because it's very opaque. And I tried to use this, mix it enough to put it in like a 1 gallon jug, because I have over 100 plants, and sometimes, you know, certain plants, not all of them need to be watered in one day, and I got to spread them around, and I don't want to like keep mixing them every day. I don't know if anybody else does that, but for me, I have a different system right now that actually 1 jug of gallon of pre-mixed with fertilizer for a specific type of plant actually lasts me about either a day or 2 days, depending on the day and how many plants need to be watered that day. So that's what I was trying to do with this. However, when I was starting to do it with just only the bonsai that I have, which I don't have a ton of, I have some, but I don't have like 50. What I notice is that it can go bad. So pay attention to that. It's not something that you can let it sit for even a week. It will go bad. Whatever you mix, you gotta use it. So that's what I learned with that. So if you do want to use this, feel free to use it. I didn't really have any issues with it. The only issue that I had was that it was a little bit, I don't know, it was just a little harder for me to use, I guess, and also a little bit more expensive for what it was. So I really didn't like that part. And I also noticed, because I was comparing it with a different fertilizer that I was also experimenting at the time, which I am currently using as well, is that the difference was just phenomenal. Like this, yeah, it didn't really kill my plant like Miracle-Gro did, but it also didn't really make my plants go crazy. I love my plants going crazy and big and lush and constantly producing new growth. This didn't really do that, so I was really disappointed with that. As soon as I noticed, when I switched it from actually 2 different kinds of fertilizers, that's when I just stopped using this on my bonsai and just used it with like other plants that I could double the dose, which didn't really burn them because I didn't use it on the bonsai. I was using it like other plants, like a pothos or something like that. And if you buy their pothos fertilizer in the same brand, it will just tell you you need 1 teaspoon to 1 cup of water. 1 teaspoon of this to 1 cup of water. So basically, just what I said, it's just double the dose from this. This is just a very, very diluted form. So if you really want to get this, you love this brand, I would suggest you don't need to get every single one. You can get one. If you have a bonsai, you have different kinds of houseplants, then you can just get 1 bottle and just water them with all of that. But make sure for the bonsai, you actually cut it in half if you don't get this one. But basically, they're all the same. They all look the same. They all smell the same. It's the same. It's just this one might be a little bit weaker, but it's weird how the consistency is still the same. I would give this a 4 out of 5 stars. And to me, it's 4 out of 5 because I've used a ton of different kinds of fertilizers in my life, being a plant mom. And this was just like, okay, it was just a little bit higher than giving water. You know, like I wish it actually did more because I really wouldn't have minded the price, but it just didn't really have that oomph that I really, really desperately want for my plants. Like, I want my plants to grow like monsters. I really just didn't get it from that. And if you guys are like saying, well, it's for a bonsai. Okay, again, they're all the same fertilizer. They all have the same NPK. This is just cut in half, so I double the dose in regards to 1 teaspoon to 1 cup instead of 1 teaspoon of this, and mix it in 2 cups of water. That would be for a bonsai plant, and I did the 1 teaspoon to 1 cup with other plants. It really didn't make a big difference. So that's why I'm giving it a 4, because it really didn't kill any of the plants, which Miracle Grow did for my plants. So that's a big plus. Also, it's not that hard to use. Yes, I have to stir it with a spoon because it just sinks in the bottom. So watch out for that. There were a lot of people that were stating that, oh yeah, this is so great. When you mix it in water, it mixes really well. No, it doesn't. You have to really stir it for a while to get it to all mix, because if not, the bottom really just has the concentration of it, which I have. That has happened with me. I would mix it a few times. I'd mix it for like 30 seconds, and sometimes it's still in there in the bottom. So that's why I'm doing a 4 out of 5, because it doesn't mix really well with the water. It's very, very annoying in that sense. And it's kind of misleading to say this might last you 6 to 12 months if you have 1 plant. I don't have 1 plant, and it doesn't specify that at all. I do give it a 1 thumb up, and that's it. If there's anything else you guys want to share in regards to this particular brand or this product, let me know down below. If you want to connect, all my social media is in the description section. If you want to chit chat about gardening, let me know down below as well. I love hearing from you guys all the time. I hope you enjoyed my video. You're going to hit the like button, subscribe, and of course the bell if you haven't yet, so you're notified every single time I do upload a new video. Thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.